Welcome back, guys, to the Spurgeon Piper. This is Wilson with you. Now, over the history of my channel, I really haven't covered the different ways we can light our pipes in those methods. So you have your matches, you have soft flame lighters, you have your Zippo lighters, what have you. That is coming down the road. But I figured, you know what? I used to use a lighter for quite some time, and I stopped, and someone actually noticed that has been with the channel for some time, or they went back and looked at my older videos, and that is Peterson's soft flame lighter here, their Corona style lighter. I will be giving you just a brief introduction to this lighter if you're not familiar with them, but let me just start off with saying, about 4 years ago, I gave a introduction review of this lighter. I bought it, and I gave it was after having it maybe a month, I gave a review. And then a year after that, so 3 years ago now, I gave a year review of the lighter and shared my thoughts. You can check those videos out if you desire to. I won't be going into as full detail on this lighter as I did those. But I thought, hey, let me go ahead and give you a 4-year, maybe almost 5-year review of this lighter. How do I feel about it now that I've had it this long? It's quite costly. Is it something that you should put money into, or should you avoid it? So that's what this is. This video is covering this morning. So first off, let's just start off with a brief introduction. I'll give you the description off of smokingpipes.com because that is where I did buy it when I bought it some years ago. And they say that it's a fine match for your Peterson pipe. These candle flame lighters present an old boy style design, albeit in a bit beefier form and sporting a larger cap. It looks it's a look that fits pretty well with Peterson's well-known and readily recognized approach to pipe shaping, I'd say. The body of the lighter is manufactured in Japan, featuring their own twin-hole nozzle design, improving the flame's wind resistance. This version is finished in a handsome, smoky, dark walnut and black style. Now, it is talking about a different style than mine. Mine is pure jet black. The one I just showed you is $100. Or excuse me, is walnut. Now, that's the other aspect that I should just throw out there. I bought this for about $88, or maybe even $80. I think it was $88. They're now at about $100, but hey, that's inflation at the moment, so that's what they are going. So keep that in mind. These are pricey lighters. You're gonna find others similar to this one that may be cheaper, maybe more expensive, like the Corona style that it mentions that this is designed off of. Maybe that's the old boy style, that's the original design. Then you have your Caribe version, and there's other brands out there that you can find that have similar, more distinguished designs and are around the same price range. All right, so I'm not going to cover all those. You can check them out, but this one is just an example of what the cost is. So yes, these are not your $5 to $10, even $20 or $30 lighters. You are putting in a more significant investment into these, which is why it's important to cover the pros and cons. So how did I feel initially with these? To sum up my former experience or my former reviews, I was satisfied. It lit up well. It still lights up fairly well, as you can see. I didn't really have a problem with it. It still does overall. I will get into some aspects here in a moment. Body is solid. It is a very distinguished look. I mean, it is a nice looking lighter. Most of these higher priced old boy style lighters are very nice. They're elegant, they're distinguished. That's part of the reason why you would buy one, right? And so I've enjoyed it, or I have enjoyed it in the past. My year review, even with some issues, I gave it accolades. And I encouraged it for a specific group of folks to purchase it, which I'll get to also in a moment. So, all right, I like it. And to get into further, what are aspects of it I do appreciate, why I would encourage someone to get it, it is something that'll probably last a long time, even though you have to take care of it. Again, something I want to get into. It will be something that lasts you a while. It is well built. The parts are quality. The customer service, when it does have issues, is pretty solid as well, I have to say, and I've appreciated that aspect of it. So if it does have issues, you can send it to them, and they're going to take care of things about it. So if you take care of it, it will take care of you overall. It's a nice piece to hand down to grandkids or children or what have you when that time comes. So again, I like to equate it to a sports car or an elegant higher class vehicle. Do you need them? No, you don't need them at all, do you? Even for those of you who have a nice car in the garage right now, you really don't need it. You know that. You could be sufficient with a Honda Accord or a Toyota sedan or a Ford Taurus or what have you, a entry-level, mid-level vehicle, and you'd be just fine. But you people buy more expensive vehicles because they have certain qualities, don't they? Not to mention the status symbol. We can set that aside, but they have a certain quality. You may have to baby it more, don't you? I have a friend who has a nice sports car, and he really has to baby that thing with whether you're talking about the type of oil or gas or the cleaning, what have you. Those are things you have to keep up with, but there's a cost analysis here. There's a cost benefit with it all. So it can do things, and it has a certain look that cheaper vehicles don't. And that's how we can approach these lighters. So off the cuff, do you need this? No, you don't need this at all. You could be just fine with matches. You can be fine with your cheap Bic lighter you find at the convenience store. Or you can find, say your Zippo lighter like this one here, and you'd just be fine smoking it. But you're buying something that's maybe more long lasting, but at the very least is elegant, distinguished. It does have some qualities to it that those others don't. That's what we need to keep in mind. It's not for me to say it's a bad investment unless it really is a cruddy, it breaks down all the time. But it depends on the individual. So keep that in mind as I go forward, because I do need to get into the dislikes. Now I want to say this is my only experience with a quality lighter, quality Corona style or old boy style lighter. I haven't had another one. I have friends who have Caribis. I have one who has a Corona old style, and they have great things to say about them. I don't have that experience. I can only go off of what others have said. So, and of course, this is the only Peterson I have, so who's to say if two are the same? But I have had some issues in the past. Probably why I haven't used it so much in recent videos, though I may get back to it. So, first issue, and I covered it in my former review, is that the flame adjustment on the very bottom at one point just stopped working. Now you could twist it and turn it, but it wouldn't adjust the flame adjustment at all. So when I would strike it, boy, it would just be like a blowtorch coming out of here. That's one of the issues I had. I did send it in. They did return it eventually. It took like a couple of months, but they returned it to me and it had it fixed. That was great. I was happy with it. So that was one issue. And then time went on and there's no problems. This thing held up fine. Now granted, I was probably a bit rough with it. I had children. Children dropped it off my desk, and that's probably not ideal for something like this. Just like if you have a sports car or higher model, higher quality vehicle, you need to take care of it. So granted, I did not at times, but I did find that it would start leaking. So like you have this cap that keeps it over the nozzle, but even with it closed, I noticed, well, it's a little loose. It's not closing all the way, so it will leak slowly gas. So, when you fill this thing up, it should last you at least a week. I found at times it wouldn't last 2 days, maybe 3 days. So that was one of the main issues why I stopped using it is, well, I don't want to have to fill this up 2 to 3 days. That's really unfortunate. So I started going back to either cheap soft flame lighters or my Zippo lighter. It's easier to take care of. So that's one of the dislikes I've had about it. I haven't had it repaired. I probably could go send it in. In fact, I just pulled it out. I just filled it up today, and I'm curious how long it's going to last. Maybe somehow the issue went away. I don't know if it did or not. We'll see. If it did, I'll post a little community notes post letting you know. But so far, that has been one of the main issues that I have had. One of the other aspects you need to think about is how you take care of it as well. So that comes down to fuel use. So this uses butane. I was fortunate to start off using a high quality filtered butane, and I would encourage you to do the same, whatever brand you use. I have used Vector. I don't have any compensation from Vector. That was one I have chosen. I've been happy with, but you do want to make sure you use a quality filter a filtered fuel. Mine is 14 times filtered, I believe. There's others that are similar. That's one thing you need to keep in mind. The other thing you need to keep in mind is the type of flints you use. So I have used Zippo flints. After all, I have a Zippo lighter and I just use the same flints. I did notice they weren't up to quality and I would have to strike it a bit more than usual. So I went to Caribbean style filters, or flints, excuse me. And I did notice that these work a lot better. Maybe they're a bit more expensive. You would have to check the price, not significantly. They're just flints after all. But I would encourage you to use a quality, whether the Caribbean, maybe there's another style out there. Peterson might carry some, I'm not sure. But Caribbean was one I was recommended. I would recommend them to you. So if you do end up going with this path, let me just encourage you to take care of it. Look up videos on that. To make it last longer. And again, just like a nicer vehicle, you may have to baby it in ways you wouldn't have to baby a lower model vehicle. All right, and it's the same way with this. And it's not significant, but it's something to keep in mind. So there you have it, guys. That is really my full review of it. If I really had to give one more thing to just throw out there of be cautious. If you're someone who has to be outside, and especially in the wind, to smoke, you definitely want to stay clear of this. In fact, you would just want to stay clear of soft flame lighters altogether. Maybe there's some out there that are foolproof on that, but I'll cover that in another video. But I'll just say off the top, you know, I don't want you to put down $100 and you're someone who has to smoke outside where it's windy all the time, because when you light it, it's just going to blow out. You know. It doesn't take much, right? So they're not built for that. I'm fortunate. I'm in a building. I'm in my study. I can smoke here without issue. So keep that in mind if you're going to go forward with this product. Don't make the wrong investment in that way. Well, guys, if you have questions, if you have reviews of your own, you have one like this, you have a Caribbean, you have an Old Boy, you have a Peterson. Let me know what your thoughts are below. Let others know what your thoughts are. It's a good place to go for other reviews as well and get your thoughts on it. Guys, that's all I have this week. I hope you're doing well and I hope you're blessed. We'll talk to you very soon.